this is one of my favorite tricks I've learned in a while. So it's just a great double stop. What it is if you're in a, say, B minor, you can kind of really do it anywhere, but for this demonstration, you're hitting the blue note. So if you take the root here and you have the fourth here, and what you do is you hit that double stop, but then you do a little trill on that blue note, that flat fifth, and it gives you a great sound. And so with the minor key, I feel like you can kind of get away with that anywhere. You know, minor's almost easy in the sense that any note, inside or outside, almost works. So if you just take like a B minor pentatonic, you could really just slur everywhere. Of course, the easiest place to do it, I think, is that blue notes. You know, the blue notes are going to be great for that. So if you have the root here and the fourth here, that's a good place to start practicing that. So you can just find the root and the fourth everywhere on that scale and get it in every position. As I said, it kind of works anywhere. So even if you took the root note here and you wanted to do it with like the flat second, it still works. You know, that's kind of that quintessential Stevie Ray Vaughan look, you know. Like you can think about the theory behind why that flat second works, but it's really you're just slurring things in a minor scale. And that's almost what makes minor songs easy to play on, is that when you're playing lead on a minor song, either you're in or all the other notes are just blue notes. There's not as many wrong notes. So that's why I think it's easier, you know, it's easy to get to an intermediate level in minor. Where I think when you play a major song, it's a lot more challenged, and I think that's where you see a difference in some players. I think it's some people can solo in minor all day, but you play a major song and they don't really have it. If I'm playing B major and I try that same move, it's cool, but it immediately makes it kind of sound minor and bluesy. You know, it's not that pure. It's not that kind of pure major sound. I think with a major, you know, I generally try to stick to the notes that are in. Unless the song requires it, you know, maybe play a little bit outside. But I feel like if you're jamming with a lot of people, you can't have too many people tearing at the seams and playing outside. Then you just kind of have a mess, and you call it avant-garde, even though it's just... And that's why I think it's easy in minor jams to play outside or to kind of pull at the seams a little bit, and it's not going to distract from the whole song. But if you're playing a major jam, there's a major tonality to it, and everybody's kind of pulling at the seams with those outside things. I think it kind of falls apart a little bit. So to practice it, you just pick a pentatonic box. You can start with that root and fourth, because that's kind of the quintessential one. But like I said, you can do it everywhere. And then you can just go to the next box. And you could do that for all the pentatonic boxes just to get used to it. But it's just a great trick to get a little different texture and different sound. So give it a shot. Like I said, with the minor stuff, you know, you can do it anywhere.